In our original discussions about co-authoring the graphic novel series, one of the first things David and Daniel suggested was that I star as a character in the books. I initially resisted this idea because I usually prefer to keep myself out of my books. And in the graphic novel, I definitely didn't want to appear as this all-knowing wise man that explains everything. In the end, I agreed to appear as a character, but on condition that I wouldn't be the only scientist there. So we added a few more scientists. Some of them are real people, like Professor Robin Dunbar. Others are fictional characters, like Professor Saraswati. Adding these other scientists was very important because science is never the work of a single individual. It's always a collaborative effort. Most of what I know about archaeology, genetics, and history is based on the work of many of my colleagues. For example, how do I know that 50,000 years ago some Homo sapiens had sex with Neanderthals? I've never conducted an archaeological excavation, and I don't know how to date ancient bones or how to map ancient DNA. But I've read the work of archaeologists and geneticists that proves beyond reasonable doubt that yes, 50,000 years ago, at least some sapiens had sex with some Neanderthals. So, in the graphic novel, the person who explains what we know about Stone Age sex is not me, it is Professor Saraswati. Seeing myself in a cartoon format is actually quite a funny experience. The fictional Yuval is based on me, but he takes on a life of his own, dressing up in all kinds of crazy costumes and getting hot-headed in ways that, well, I rarely do. Of the main characters that appear in both Volume 1 and Volume 2 in the series, my favorite is Dr. Fiction. Dr. Fiction is a superhero who has a central role in the books because she represents the human superpower that has allowed our species to conquer the planet. Humans control the world because we are the only mammal that can cooperate in very large numbers. And we can do that because we can invent and believe fiction. All large-scale human cooperation is based on fictional stories. Religions are based on mythological stories. Nations and states are also stories that exist only in our collective imagination. Corporations are what lawyers call legal fictions. Money, too, is just a story. Take a dollar bill. It has no value in itself. You cannot eat it, or drink it, or wear it. The value of the dollar comes only from the stories that bankers tell us and that we all believe. How to convey this crucial idea in the graphic novel? We had all kinds of suggestions. We talked about it and wrote emails and made phone calls and rejected one possibility after another. Eventually, we were inspired by the superhero genre to create a new superhero, Dr. Fiction. She flies around in a cape like a traditional comic superhero, and she personifies the human superpower to invent and believe fictional stories. In many ways, she is the most important character in the whole book.